everybody, Elisa here for another Vera Bradley bag of the day. Today I have to run a quick errand to drop a box off at the post office. I don't really need a big bag. I probably will have to get out of my car, but but I don't really need a big bag. I was going to switch into a style that I just recently I'm getting into. It doesn't come in a lot of patterns. Uh, Fortunately for me. So it sort of keeps me in check. But it's in a pattern that I haven't really ever talked about. And so it's this new style for me, and so it gives me an opportunity to talk about it. So I thought I would do a quick video, hopefully quick, before I run out. Now I'll load up my bag with it because I'm transferring from a big tote. But it's the Glenna Hobo, and the pattern is Indiana Rose. I'm not sure exactly how it happened that I sort of started to get into Indiana Rose now, but it follows my typical, Vera MO, which is that with some patterns, I'll just completely ignore them until they go on sale or heading down the road to retirement, and then I become obsessed with them. So at least they're on sale when that happens. And so this pattern, when it first came out, was not one I was interested in, and I'll explain why, but I did go down to my local Hallmark to take some photos to share on Instagram and stuff, and Facebook, for people who couldn't get to to see it in person. And I would get a lot of questions about the background color, which I found very frustrating. Not the questions, but the color. Because it was hard. Like most color, it looks different in different light, and it's hard to kind of decide what color it is, to pinpoint exactly what color it is. So a lot of people were asking, is it brown? Is it maroon? Is it purple? And I was just like, forget it. I don't know what it is. I couldn't figure it out for myself. And so, I was just like, forget it. Although I was a little bit more blue when I said that. But I'm going to go very highbrow and say that I've decided it's aubergine. And I do think that's actually what it is. I don't know why that didn't occur to me sooner, but it is a very eggplant kind of background color. And certainly it does have a very warm, like purplish cast rather than a cool brown kind of cast, so it's nice. And I think the colors started to grow on me. Some of the colors in the pattern started to grow on me, especially the combination of the blues with the pink and the way the blue is used, because the blues are used as the leaf element, the leaves and the stems of the flowers, which is, atypical. It's not your typical, obviously, realistic leaf color. And I like that. I like when the designers play with the colors and don't use typical colors for things. And so I think that caused me to start looking at it a little bit more closely. Why I had been resistant, aside from the background color, why I had been resistant to this pattern at first was because it's sort of, the way it's rendered is sort of mimicking an ikat style textile. For people who might not be sure what that is, ikat is a traditional textile that developed in a handful of places around the world. And the threads are tie-dyed before the fabric. They are woven into the fabric. So it's not a printed design on a piece of plain fabric. The fabric is woven in. And the edges of the design end up with this kind of jagged edge that almost looks like the colors are bleeding. So you can see what I'm talking about here, where all the edges of everything have that sort of jagged look. And I've always been a little sort of sensitive to that and not really crazy about that look. And I think that's why I was always kind of not that interested in ikat textiles. But I sort of started getting over it with this one, I think because of the color. Hey, sweet girl. Like I said, the blues and the pinks. I mean, this is very nice here, this combination of the darker pink with the darker blue stems. And I don't know if I got any on. I've got a couple of pieces in this now, and I can show another one. There is one flower. It's not. It's not. Not. I had to order this, so of course it's not on this bag. But I'll get to it when I show another bag. I have some bigger bags in this, and I can show so that people get an overall feel for the pattern more. Uh, um, but I think because I started to like certain flower shapes and color combinations, I started to overlook that sort of ECOT kind of look to it. Um, so the Glenna Hobo was a bag that I had looked at when it was still in the stores when it came out, and I wasn't crazy about it because it didn't slouch well, which I think has something to do with the structure of the opening here, with this slightly recessed zipper. The fabric around that recess is stiff, and the zipper is a little stiff, of course. Although it's one of the soft plastic zippers. And then there's, as with the, it's sort of keeping some of the elements of the regular Glenna satchel, and one of them is that piping up on the top edge. And that's very stiff. So the bag doesn't really slouch nicely all the time, initially like a hobo should, or like you might expect a hobo to. And I have a feeling that might be why this style didn't take off that much. I mean, it was only released in a handful of patterns, and then they sort of seem to have stopped making it. Came in Indiana Rose, came in Holland Garden, which is not a pattern I'm super crazy about, and Raspberry Medallion. Came in Raspberry Medallion. Sorry, my blinds are blowing around. And so, I mean, that, in a sense, that's good because it keeps me in check. But so when I tried it on in the store, I guess I just felt like something about it just didn't slouch right, and it wasn't filled up with anything very heavy. It was just sort of stuffed with paper. But I'm finding when I put more weight in it, then that sort of pulls on the fabric more and counteracts the stiffness of the top edge a little bit. Not 100%, but it helps a little bit, and stuff sort of slouches a little bit more. And why I decided to give it a try was because it was in the online outlet sale, so it was a good price. And I noticed in looking at it that this shape, I was thinking about what can I use as a crossbody that's sort of similar to the Hadley on the Go satchel, which is my favorite crossbody, and which is not made anymore. And I have it in probably all the patterns that I really like that are out there. So you can find that in the online outlet sale too, but I don't like any of the sort of remaining patterns that I'm not, I don't have. So I was thinking, well, what else can I get that's like that in shape? And this is like that in shape. So the base is a little bit narrower this way. The base of the Hadley is a little bit squarer, so it gives it a little bit more width this way, which I like a little bit better. But it has that similar, like a smaller bottom, really splaying out to a wider top. And so when I wear a crossbody against my body, I feel like it gives me a nice amount of coverage around my hips, which I like. Always got to check on the puppies. And so anyway, so I decided to give it a try, and I found that I really like it, and I do use it both ways as a shoulder bag from this shorter strap, which is not removable. I really examined the loops here. So maybe I missed something, because I had missed it on the recent on the go ahead convertible crossbody from the factory outlet store. So this shorter shoulder strap is not removable, but I love this length. This is the perfect strap length for me, so that's great. I would never take it off. And it does have also a crossbody strap. I just keep that when I'm not using it. I keep it attached at one end, and then I just sort of stick it. If I'm not carrying anything in one of these pockets, slip pockets inside, I'll stick it in there. It's got sort of some of the features sort of similar to the Glenna satchel. It's got a hidden vertical zip, and then on the back side, it's got a slip pocket with a magnetic snap closure. So I guess, and inside, it's got, your standard one zipper pocket on one side and two medium-sized slip pockets on the other wall of the bag. This lining is not, doesn't really do much for me. It's very dark. It's like a dark brown. It's not the same exact color as the background color on the exterior. So let me, just to show that, let me get some of the bigger bags out because it's harder to see that in there. But this is the Carson North-South tote, and people probably know that has that style has that big front flap, and so you can see the lining well when you lift that up. So you can see, I mean, it still has the little flower details have that ikat kind of rendering, you know, with the edges looking like they're sort of jagged and bleeding. But it's very, you know, neutral. It's just sort of pale. It could be white with a little yellow scent. Some of the flowers have little yellow centers. Oops, sorry. Not, you know, not really that interesting to me. And just so people can get an overall look at the pattern before I start loading up the bag and put it on. This is a, you know, Vera tote. And this I got on sale in my local Hallmark when they reopened. And I'm so pleased with the pattern placement on this. You would think that a pattern like this, you know, pattern placement wouldn't matter, but it kind of does to me because like this is the front of this bag, and this big yellow flower is probably my least favorite part of the pattern. There's something about that yellow against the eggplant color that I'm not crazy about. Let's see if I can get a little bit brighter in here. But on this bag, I feel like I haven't gotten a lot of that yellow, and so I was very pleased. And I got this nice big flower here on the pocket, which is nice because I could have ended up with a part of the pattern that really just had like a lot of background color, you know, like this or something. So that, I feel like that's kind of what you want. And then it has my favorite flower in a number of places, which is this one. Something about that, the soft sort of oval shape of that flower head and that big blue leaf, that combination I really do like. And I love that you get this blue leaf up above it too. So that really sort of shows you that pink and blue combination that I was talking about. I really like. I think it really looks nice against this colored background too. Sort of brings out that purple of the background. And it's over here too, that flower. And just get a look at that yellow, one of the yellow flowers there. And then on the back, it's on the back, that flower's on both side panels of the back. You know, it's up there and it's down there. But this center section gives you a nice big feel of the overall pattern. So, I mean, if you don't have a favorite, if you're not, you know, focusing on a certain flower like I was, I would say, you know, for the most part, you're not going to go wrong with pattern placement if you were to order this online. Okay, so and when I just for a quick measurement with a strap drop here, the opening and the strap drop, opening's about 14, 15 inches. And the strap drop, I think, is something super short, like maybe 8 when there's no weight in the bag. But then, of course, it slouches. The top of the bag slouches a little bit and gets you more space in that strap drop area. It's really just like 9 inches when there's no weight. Just like if I'm holding it like this and measuring it, it's 9 inches. And the bottom, so that top was only about, was 14-ish, let's say. And the bottom across is about 8. So, you know, it has to widen out quite a bit. What is that, a 6-inch difference? I think it's about maybe 3.5, 4 inches wide on the base. It's not that wide, which I think also kind of makes the bag a little top heavy. Sometimes it does kind of flop over a little bit if you have stuff kind of lopsided in the bag, like the weight isn't distributed evenly. Yeah, it's almost 3.5. So a narrower base. That might have something to do also with maybe why I didn't take off the bag style. Okay, so Let me just put some stuff in. So now since it's a smaller bag, I do tend to change some of the stuff that I normally carry. Rosie, please don't chew on the blanket. You know, where's your bone? Here. That's what you chew on. Good Lord. Okay, so I mean, sometimes I might try to switch out to a smaller charger cord pouch, but this is very sort of malleable, so I'm going to see if it works. Just slip it in there. And I have various mask things. One of them is Vera. I'm taking to carrying a bunch of different ones, so I have options when I'm out. This is what was this? Ellie Flowers. I'm gonna stick those in the zipper pocket. So normally I have a bigger GPS pouch, and so I decided to switch to a smaller one. And this is Dragon Fruit Floral Mini Cosmetic Pouch. And again, normally I would switch to a smaller wallet, but I don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to shove it in there. The big honkin' turn-lock wallet is going in. I do have a smaller glove pouch, though. This is the compact organizer from the factory outlet store in Penelope's garden. There's a hedgehog. See, it's getting tight now. Okay. And actually, one of the benefits of having it be a little tight in here right now is that I want to take my hand sanitizer, and there's no interior pocket in there really to keep it sort of upright. So I can use the other stuff around it to sort of shore it up. So it's kind of in there, but hopefully it won't flop over. I don't think I want to take my iPad mini because it is getting tight in there, and I'm just running out for a short while. I don't need it. But I do have my phone. Now, normally I would want to put it in a Carson cell phone crossbody, but it won't. It doesn't fit in the slip pocket that way that's in here. The slip pocket's a little too narrow, but it does fit in the slip pocket without anything, so I'll just slip it in there. So it's, it's there in the front slip pocket, front facing. When I put it on, that'll be the forward one. So you can close it up, but so when it's got weight in it, it does tend to sort of slouch a little bit better. Sometimes I've noticed, depending on how much is in there and how I have it packed, it will sort of bow out, like both sides of this edge, this piped edge around the recess zipper will sort of curve to one side, which is not necessarily great looking. But right now, I guess I've packed it up in a way where the weight is kind of evenly distributed, and so that's not happening, which is nice. So first I'll put it as a shoulder bag, and then I'll fasten the crossbody strap all the way. So you can see, it's kind of in the way now, but you can see it sits up nice and high, which is something that I really like. There is a strip of pleather on this strap, not super crazy about that, but it's something I can live with. So I'm just very pleased with that. The height of it as a shoulder bag, I think it's perfect. Feels real comfortable. And again, very reminiscent of the shape of the Hadley on the Go satchel. So I can just fasten the other end of the crossbody strap and put on that way so people can see. And I tend to try to fasten it like this is the side of the bag that's going to lie against my body. So I'll put the non-removable shoulder strap sort of on that side and fasten the crossbody strap on the opposite side of the loop so that it doesn't interfere with this part hanging down. So again, I'm putting it on this side, not that side. And then this can flop down uninterrupted by this strap. Rosie! Rosie! Don't do that with my blanket. Excuse me. Excuse me. Stop doing that. I see that your toy is in there. Here. You don't have to get all up in the blanket. Look at your toy. Oh my God. I don't know what's going on with her. Okay. So really like the Hadley on the go satchel. Nice. I like that little bit of coverage against my body. More covering my hips. Just feel like the proportion is better for me than something that's a little bit smaller and maybe more north-south in a crossbody. I like north-south in a tote, but for a crossbody, I like a little width. And it's comfortable, and this strap adjusts easily. Even while it's on my body, I can slide it around, and it stays in place. I don't know what the puppies are doing right now. You better not have a big chunk of that in your mouth. Yeah. Here. Oh my goodness. Okay, so anyway. So that's my bag today. Just a quick one. The what is this now? The Glenna Hobo. What day is it? The Glenna Hobo in Indiana Rose, which I did get in the online outlet sale. I think it's still available. I mean, I don't think it sold out last sale. I think maybe the Holland Garden one sold out. But this one was still there. I did consider getting it in the raspberry medallion, although that's a little bit pink for me. But then there's that whole issue with the medallions maybe being awkwardly positioned relative to the label or the seams or whatever. So I said, oh, forget it. Anyway, so I hope people found that helpful. Look at the pattern and the style, which didn't really seem to take off. So, maybe not so easy to get a look at. And hopefully see you next time on Vera Bradley Bag of the Day.